Welcome back to this new season of the Student Conundrum. Today, we're going to do a little transition from what was the last season and what is coming out, right?
Yes, so last season we talked about the struggles of international students in terms of coming here, adjusting to the new culture, and um, we also learn about how resilience can be very important in this kind of endeavor.
Yeah, there's a fact that over 800,000 international students are currently in Canada, and many of them are asking the same question that maybe you are asking, maybe we are asking, uh, and it's what is next, right? So, right now, we're in a transition from how we get here to what are we going to do after this first step, right?
Yeah, after graduation.
After graduation, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, so just for me to share, my plan after graduation mainly is to be able to extend my husband's OWP or open work permit since it will be expiring this next year. And that means I need to find a job that is under tier 01 as well as specific positions in tier 2 and 3. So,
Yeah. So in that way, you're pointing on something that is really important. That are the changes that we're facing, right? Uh, the new government changes are, well, making us to think twice on what is the best strategy, right?
mhm.
Maybe we're facing confusion or overwhelming, right? But at the end, what we have talked last season is that we're resilient, right? We left everything behind. We're trying to find something best for ourselves, for our families. So I think if you're an international student, your capacity to adaptation will be really high, right?
Mhm.
What are you getting into? It's because we are 6 months closest to the graduation, right?
Yeah. So right now I'm looking for a co-op. And then hopefully I'll be once I got one, be able to absorb by the company. And then after a year, I'll go with the employer driven OILP, specifically the expression of interest string, where the employer will be the one uh driving or recommending the proposal for the nominee, provincial nominee. If I'm here in Sarnia, probably I'll consider going for the ready pilot instead.
Well, in a highlight view on what you're mentioning is that a Canadian government is focusing on what they really need, right? I think it's different from what it was 10 years ago, right? And they're right now narrowing the path to what the country really needs, right? And that is where there are several things that you may have to consider before the journey and during this adventure, right? So, for example, on my experience, when I start planning my trip, I went to a consultation, and the agent was really, in some way, they was she was direct on what I really need. She said, "You need to do networking because right now, on the skills that you have, on things that you have, you won't get it. So you start to improve yourself. You need to start to improve your English and even a second language like French, right? And in some way, they give me a roadmap where I should follow, right? and trying to create a mindset on me on what I have to do, right? At the very first moment when I started, I had to go through this way to find what I really need to make it the path more clear, right? So I start preparing. Right now, with those rapid changes that we are facing, all of that narrowing, right? With at some point, I think to myself that those words make me prepared for what was going, right? It was like you need to wake up, you need to realize that there's a lot of at stake, right? And you have to be precise on what you're choosing, right? Sometimes uh, you try to get the same things or same job that you have in your country, but it's hard to realize that it's different here, and the one who needs to adapt is you, right? Have you faced something like that?
In our case, we initially planned coming here, just me and my husband. So we've been planning it. We talked to agencies. They give us a broad perspective, not really a specific path to take, but options to take. So somehow it's overwhelming, but then what we're thinking about or during that time is there is a chance to be able to have a good life here in Canada. So we tried. But then before we really like we're doing the processing already, right? Then suddenly I was pregnant. Right. It's something that we really didn't expect. We've been trying for like 5 years, but then people became right at that moment that we're about to forget about. We took it initially as a still a good thing since it's something that we were praying for.
Yeah, for sure. It would always be a good thing.
Our original plan like went 360 degrees turn because oh no 180 on
Yep.
180 degree turn because I can't uh do a job because I mean I can't I'm not capable in a sense that my pregnancy is very delicate. So I cannot be stressed. I cannot uh sleep too late, like so we decided it's okay. You can just not I mean just focus on the pregnancy and its studies. Then my husband later working. Summer came, but then no one will be able to take care of my son because we can't find a daycare. And we cannot leave our son behind just alone, right? So I still don't have a choice but to focus on Harry. So right now, I'm hoping to find a call that is ready to either project management or project organization so that I could gain Canadian. I can start gaining Canadian experience since my son is already has a daycare. So everything is just trying to transition in uh a good way now because everything is falling into place and I could work uh right now I'm even trying to find uh part-time jobs. So
Yeah, so in some way, there's a clear example on how things that you plan will turn into a different way of what you have to develop, right? And you have to start thinking quickly, right? To act uh, when it's needed through that changes, right? In some way, you may have thought that you got a clear way, right?
Initially.
But situations are different, right? And
Mhm.
it's how you adapt. And at the end of the story, it will be one thing that it's really needed is that you need to be informed and have options, right? To create a strategy, right? Because you cannot just start flowing and do whatever the first person say, right? And or try to do what I think it's one of the principal issue here is that people are always following a pattern,
Like
right?
go to the trend.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Going after what the first person realized that was useful, go directly to that blindfolded way and try to do the same. But you need to find your strengths. You need to find what you're good to and get into that, right? At the end of the story, you think that planning is necessary?
Yes, definitely.
Mm.
Because it's not just a plain simple decision that you're going to a foreign country, leaving everything behind back home and starting over again from the very bottom. I mean, from scratch, because you, you don't have a job here as soon as you came, right?
Yep.
So it's very important that you have plan A, even plan B or C.
Yeah.
Because
Because you will have a lot of uncertainties, right?
yes, a lot of
So there's something that we wanted to do different this season is that despite of our experience or knowledge maybe and our thoughts, we want to use the expertise of someone who is in this environment, who is facing or who have faced uh, these issues too and have been in our position. Right now we have Diana Rodriguez. It's an immigrant from Colombia. She came here with her husband and they planned a lot of things and then they have some changes and they adapt and they got their PR. Right now they got their citizenship. So we will see what are her thoughts, her recommendations, and her highlight view of what is this immigration phase. Can you briefly share your own journey as an immigrant?
Sure. My husband and I came to Canada almost 9 years ago. So he was an international student, and I came through an open work permit. We started from zero, like many others. New country, new culture, new everything. And even though I wasn't speaking English back then, we went through all the stages: study permit, work permit, PR, and eventually citizenship. It's been a long process, but one full of growth, faith, and learning for sure.
Okay. What motivated you to work in immigration consulting and how has that shaped your view of this process?
Sure, I can share that. But I just want to make a quick clarification. Nothing I shared today should be taken as immigration advice. I'm not a licensed immigration consultant, at least not yet. So everything I will be sharing comes from my personal journey as an immigrant and from my professional experience working behind the scenes with an immigration consultant for several years. My goal today is to simply help international students understand the process better and stay informed and feel encouraged along the way. Honestly, it started with empathy. After going through the whole journey ourselves, I realized how confusing and stressful immigration can be. So I joined an immigration consulting firm, and I've been working there for several years now. What I love is that it's not just about application or documents. It is about real people and real dreams. Each case reminds me that this is not just an administrative work. It is helping someone build a life in Canada. That gives meaning to what I do every single day.
Awesome. So on your point of view, what are the most common PR pathways that international students explore, and what should they know about each one?
Okay. So the most common ones are the expert entry through the Canadian Experience class, or most known as CEC, for students who have gained experience or skill experience, Canadian work experience after graduation. Another one that is most of the common ones is the provisional mini programs, and here in Ontario, and the most successful one is an international graduate stream or the employer-driven nominations. What students should know is that each program has a specific timelines and requirements. What international students should know is that each program has a specific timelines and requirements. If you wait too long to plan, you might miss your window. So it is important to start learning early, even during your first semesters, to understand what fits your profile best.
Have you noticed any recent changes in immigration policies that affect new graduates?
Yes, definitely. There has been several updates to the postgraduate work permit and to the express entry. Actually, the government is focusing more on programs that matches Canada's labor market needs nowadays, meaning that what you studied really matters. Fields like healthcare, trades, and technology are being prioritized. So being strategic on what your education is key. It is not just about studying anything, but about studying something that creates real opportunities for you here.
What are some common mistakes or misconceptions students have when planning for PR?
I believe that the biggest one is waiting too long. Many students think I will deal with PR after I graduate or later, but then some doors might be closed. And another mistake is assuming that any full-time job count as skilled work, and it is not always the case. The job must match a qualification knock level. As everyone know, knock levels are 0, 1, 2, or 3, the ones that really qualified as a skilled work experience. And always, um, I tell students to don't stop working while waiting for your dream job. Work in what's available, being also volunteer or taking a part-time opportunity. That's pretty key in this case because every bit of Canadian experience counts. It keeps your resume active, helps you understand the work culture, and often leads to something better.
So, when should the students start preparing for PR, and what does preparing really mean?
Actually, from day one, preparing doesn't mean filling out forms. It means being intentional with your choices. So choose the right program, keep your grades strong, improve your English or French, and start networking early. Networking in Canada is huge. Sometimes jobs come through conversations, not job boards. Attend events, connect with professors, talk to people in your community, and again, work in what is available. Don't stay home waiting for the perfect opportunity. Um, you build credibility and confidence by staying active.
What kind of professional or academic choices can strengthen a PR application?
Well, that's a huge question, and I believe that programs that lead to in-demand jobs like healthcare, IT, as I said before, business trades, and social services are great examples. Getting Canadian work experience in now 0, 1, 2, or 3 roles really strengthens your profile. And I don't underestimate language. Even a small improvement in your IELTS or CELBIP score can boost your points significantly. Also, keep records and reference letters from your employers. They will save you time when you are ready to apply.
Okay, so if someone feels lost or overwhelmed, what's the first thing they should do?
My first advice would be take a breath, really. Just pause and breathe, and then get clarify. Get clarity. Get advice. No your permit type, know your expiry dates, and what your options are. Talk to a regular consultant. Make sure you are talking to a professional in this immigration field or to an advisor in your college or community organization. And sometimes a single conversation can save you months of confusion and stress. And remember that everyone feels lost at some point. So you are not the only one. Figure this out.
What's one piece of advice you wish someone had given you when you were starting out?
I wish someone had told me you don't need to have it all figured out at once. Be patient and consistent. That's what matters most. Don't compare your timeline to someone else because every journey is unique. And for me, personally, fate played a big part. When things didn't go as planned, it was often just God directing our pathways towards something better. So keep moving forward and trust the process.
So, finally, what gives you hope when working with international students today?
Actually, the courage. Um, they leave everything behind, learn a new language, face new systems, and still keep going. Every time I see a student succeed, getting their PR, find their place, building their life here, it reminds me that perseverance really truly pays off. That's what gives me hope, seeing dreams turn into reality through the hard work and faith.
Thank you for all the information that you have provided. Thank you for your help. And final words?
Now I just want to say thank you for having me today, for having this opportunity to share with you guys. And just wanted to say to all the international students that keep up the good work. Remember, keep moving forward and trust that if you are consistent, you will make it.
Okay, so Christine, after our guest opinion, our guest thought, what's on your mind? What do you think?
Well, first of all, it's very informative. So it's something that I appreciate to our guest sharing it to everyone. And for me, I was hoping I should have heard that before. But yeah, but still, I want to focus on what I could control right now. So I'll be looking for local Canadian experience. Um, choose a specific stream, probably ONIP, OINP, or Ready Pilot.
What do you think on what she said about keep working? For example, I think that, and it may happen to me, that we were waiting for that great job, that opportunity that will make us earn a lot of money, right? That will make us create a clear pathway on what we are reaching for. But I think that from my experience and from what I'm seeing on a lot of people, is that while they're waiting for that thing, the time is passing by, right? And at some point, I have seen people who are late on that, right? And they lost their opportunities. That window, as she said, closes really fast.
One thing that really get into me is you have to start as early as you can. Just coming right after you came in, you should start looking for a job, earning Canadian experience, finding or expanding your network so that uh, there are more chances. I mean, your resume is continually active, and somehow that small steps will lead you to a more stable job and hopefully to the permanent residency and then citizenship.
Yeah, and the thing is that most people are not uh, are not getting information from reliable sources, right? At the end, our generation is a lot of time on social media, and at the end, we're waiting just that another one will tell you what to do, right? And we don't do our own research and our own interpretation because we're trying to do the same thing that works for a different person, right? And
That's why good thing that we have our guest today to share relevant, very important information from her own personal experience. I mean, going through everything from the student pathway to the um work and then eventually to the PR and citizenship, right?
yeah, that's right. That's right because uh, we need to have a clear view on what it's next, right? And we don't have to lose time, but flowing with people, right? And start thinking on what should I do? What are my strengths? What do I need to improve? Right? Because what keep on my mind and what is still resounding on me is that a small improve can make the difference.
Yes.
Like getting a higher score in the CELPIP or IELTS can make the difference when you are targeting to express entry, right? And that would make the difference. So most time we wait for this big change or for this big new thing that we get out of focus, right? And she said time is passing by and we're carrying less time. Not every day that passes. So, Christine, at the end of this story or this experience from our guest, what is your final thoughts?
Um, I think what I learned from Diana was the importance of being well informed and having a goal, and also reflecting on what your strengths are, what your background is, as well as knowing the system, I mean, the Canadian system, PR pathways, like the federal pathway and the provincial ones. And then with all that information, having a specific plan on how you will get there. Try to stick to it as much as you can. And if it doesn't work out the, f- the way you wanted it, make sure that you have a backup plan to and focus on why you come here, which is for me, it's about growth, opportunity, and the betterment of our family. So that's our main goal on the Southern Conundrum Season 2. We will try to navigate through different pathways and we're trying to keep you informed, keep you posted on every changes that the government is making right now. For our next episode, we will go through healthcare, medical, and life sciences. And we will try to do this exercise by giving you the opinion of an expert, giving advice, and clarify all the doubts. So that's why we'd like you to interact with us. Give us your opinion, give us your question, and we will try to get you an answer, a really well-informed answer that may have helped you on no interruptions. Thank you very much. This is the Student Conundrum.